Welcome back to Unplugged, brought to you by DraftKings. Man, a crazy week and weekend in hoops. We're down to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals with a lot of young new faces. Before we jump into that, though, I want to welcome my brothers, Vernon Maxwell, who just had ashy elbows, and I got him lotion in his elbows before we started, and my dog, Keyon Dooling.
What's up, man?
Fellas, what up?
Hey, what up? What up, everybody?
What's
What
up,
up,
champ?
fellas? What's going on? Yeah.
Man, what's going on? How's everybody doing, man? Everybody good?
Man, we
Oh,
great,
yeah.
man.
Blessed, man.
God is
Blessed, brother.
good.
Yes, sir. All the time.
Hey, fellas, we got a lot of new young faces in the conference finals. The NBA will have a seventh different champion in 7 years, first time in NBA history that's happened. 3 out of the 4 teams have never tasted that Larry O'Brien, and the Knicks' last title was in 1973, so that was a lifetime ago. Let's start Thunder Wolves. First game on Tuesday. The series split was 2-2. The Thunder are favored, minus 370 in this series. Some of the key Thunder guys have been struggling, though, fellas, so let's jump into this series.
I'll start it off, man. I
Yeah.
tell you, I love, the Thunder, man. That's my squad, man. I say that's the team I got to win it all, but it's gonna be a great series, man. Ant-Man, they're playing good at the right time. I mean,
Absolutely.
they're playing real good at the right time. So, but I think it's going to be a great series. I can't wait to see this shit. And I like what the league's doing now. Like we was talking about before the show, we think it was a memo sent out to these motherfuckers, to the referees to let
Let
these
them hoop.
motherfuckers
Let them
play.
play.
Let
Let
these
them play.
motherfuckers play, man. So, but that's the part I really love about all this shit, though. The referees is really letting these motherfuckers play. So, so I look forward to that part, but it's going to be a great series. But OKC, I think, are winning in 7.
KD, excuse me, before you get into your second, I just want to get some stats. SGA and Williams are shooting under 30% from the three-point line in the playoffs. Chet's at 16 and 10 and 2.5 blocks and gets a chance to go home and play in front of his home crowd. Wolves, Ant is 26, 8 and 6 on 45 and 35 splits. And Randall, who I think has been one of the best players in the playoffs and will be a key in this series, is at 24, 6 and 6, shooting 50, 35 and nearly 90% from the free throw line. Katie, thoughts on this series?
I love this series. I think that's it's very balanced. I think both teams have great benches. Minnesota plays 3 great guys off the bench, when Walker Alexander, Nas Reed, and then DiVincenzo, right? And so they have depth, right? So I don't think it's just a mismatch from the depth standpoint. Though Oklahoma City, their guys do have depth. They can impact the game, especially on the defensive end with Caruso, who's a proven champion. And those young guys as well, man, they come in and they play their role. But I like OKC in this series. I think they have the best closer in the game, at least the top 2 closers in the game. So I still like OKC in this series. And I think really the difference of this series will be, Lou Dort, kind of guarding, Anthony Edwards. I believe that Lou Dort is one of the top 3, if not the best on-ball defender, though sometimes he might not get the most steals or blocks, like just stand in front of somebody and playing them with physicality. Offensively, all he does is pretty much shoot threes. And so he doesn't need his legs for that. He spends all his energy on the defensive end, and I think he'll make it really tough on Ant. And so I like the OKC Thunder. I won't say how many games I like them in, but I like them to be the first to 4.
I said early on that this could be the year that we see OKC get popped in the second round, and that nearly happened. Or it could be the year that they get over the hump and represent the Western Conference in the finals. And this is, they've extended their chances. Obviously, Game 7 this past weekend. They showed that they were the better team, and Denver had some issues, but hey, they showed that they were the better team. They're on to the finals or Western Conference Finals now. I love OKC's depth. I love their camaraderie. Like I've said this, I fuck with what kind of team they really mess with each other. Them dudes
Yeah.
are really on the same page, and we've all played on teams where either there was like that or there was some islands, and you can definitely tell the energy
can
when
see it.
players
Yeah.
are on
You can feel
islands.
it.
Those guys are all on the same page, and I absolutely love that. And if you look at it, I mean, arguably, once the wave passes of the greatness and that's still here with Steph, LeBron, and KD, these 2 guys SGA and Ant are right in the mix of, the face of the league. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously we'll get into the other side, but we have all young who Brunson, I want to say, is 28. We got all mid and young 20 somethings that are in these conference finals. Um, I'm gonna say I like Oklahoma City too, but I really like Ant and
Oh
Randall. And
yeah,
I feel like
definitely, absolutely.
still they haven't got the chemistry they're gonna have still. But like I said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, it's two dogs that meet up and they're playing good
Mm.
basketball at the right time. Those guys play hard as hell. So this is gonna be a great series. I'm really excited for it. But I would agree, I definitely have Oklahoma City too. Going to the Eastern Conference, fellas, we are in some dangerous motherfucking water right now because if the Knicks
Oh
get
my
to the
goodness.
finals
Oh
and happen
shit.
to win the finals, we're not going to be
Oh
able to
my
tell no one
goodness.
from
Oh
New
my.
York nothing for
Oh
the next
shit.
20
I'm so
years.
sick
Yeah.
The
of this
next
shit.
20 years, you can't say shit to
It's just
nobody from New York
sick of this
if them
shit.
boys are able to slide to the finals
Oh
and
my
make it
goodness.
happen, man. So let's talk about this. This is really exciting.
Oh.
Obviously, these guys linked up last year. The Knicks were a little shorthanded. Randall was out, and then they lost OG, I think, after game 2. But hey, everyone seems to be healthy. Again, Pacers with their depth. Same thing we talked about with OKC. Pacers are a very deep team, hot at the right time. The Knicks are very top heavy, and their guys have logged a lot of minutes, but their guys are playing a lot of good
Yeah.
basketball right now. So
Yeah.
let's take a look at this series. And KD, I'll start with you. The Knicks started a minus 140. They're favored with home court advantage. They're 2-1 versus the Pacers this year. Indy has 6 players averaging double figures. This is going to be really fun. What do you
Yeah.
see and who do you like?
Wow, man. I think this is one of the more balanced series that we're gonna see in some time, right? The Pacers, man, they play with pace. They're well coached. Like, Rick Carlisle doesn't get enough credit, right? Remember, he coached Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash back in the days before they won their championship. He coached the Detroit Pistons before Larry Brown took over and got them a championship. So like he's one of those old school coaches that skill set has like transcended through the generations. And so I tip my hat to him. They say he used to get tape before the game. So, like, he's a hooper to the core. So I like their balance. I
Yeah.
like their depth. I like, their continuity. But, like, I just think that the Knicks, you know what I mean? Like, with that top 5 players that they play, they don't play a lot of people off the bench. I think McBride comes in and he's kind of an X factor. But I just think that the Knicks, it's their time. They got the best closer in the game analytically, and the eye test kind of proves to us that Jalen Brunson is that guy during the clutch time. I think their fans need this. And it's about time, man, that New York does something, man. They've been living off the 80s and the 70s for so long, man. Like New York got so much shit to us coming up, man, when we used to go to ABCD camp and things
Oh
like.
man.
But
Oh,
it's time for them boys to, like show up and show out. And then also, the other 3 teams in the playoffs right now are small market teams.
Yep.
Right. And so the impressions and the Nielsen, factor, you know what I mean? I think it'll be good for the game if the Knicks get to the finals. I think it'll bring basketball, back to what, quote unquote is called the Mecca. So I'm up
Hmm.
with the Knicks in this series.
wow, man. Ugh. I can't stand them motherfuckers, man. Them
I
New
know
York
you can,
motherfucking
Matt. I
fans. Them
still remember them
motherfuckers, man,
days.
they act like they done won the motherfucking championship already, man. I'm just like, God damn. I can't stand them, man. But it's gonna be a great series. Like you said, man, it's very balanced and shit. I'm I'm pulling for Indiana. Uh, I won't, I love Bronson and what he's about and all this shit and his dad over there shit. I don't think they made it this far until when his damn daddy was playing back like 20 some years ago,
Mhm.
whenever the fuck
Mhm.
that was. So
Mhm.
yeah, man. So but I'm pulling for Brunson to have a good series and but I like Indiana in the series because New York, those guys, them motherfuckers done logged a lot of minutes on them legs, man. It's late in the season.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta think
Yes.
about that, man. And Tom, he ain't doing a lot of fucking subbing,
No.
man. So,
No.
I mean, I think it's gonna start to show up sometime coming up in this next series. I mean, so but pay attention to this shit now. Them legs be gone now. So
Yeah.
I
Facts.
like
Hey,
Indiana. I like Indiana.
hey, that was going to be my main question. At some point, are these minutes going to catch up, or
Mhm.
is adrenaline going to prevail? Like, Katie, you've been to the conference finals, right?
3 times.
Okay, yeah. So the conference finals, I mean, it's man, you're almost there.
Yes,
You
yes,
see the finish
yes,
line.
yes,
Yeah.
So
yes, yes.
obviously, my question is that fatigue going to set in, or is that adrenaline going to carry them with a few days off in between games? Max, you got to play in the Garden for the finals. What was
Yeah,
that crowd like? Although y'all handed them what you needed to handle them to get you a ring, what was
yeah.
that crowd and that energy like in Madison Square during the finals?
A lot of shit talking before the,
Mm-hmm.
we the
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers was talking so much shit outside the arena. I said, God damn, I'm glad we ain't playing against all them motherfuckers. We just playing 5-on-5. These motherfuckers act like they was gonna all play against us. This
They
motherfuckers
were.
like,
In
yeah,
their
but
mind, they was.
them motherfuckers go crazy, man.
Yeah.
I just can't stand the motherfuckers. But it's one of my best places to play in the NBA. I love playing in New York, and like they said, it's the Mecca. So,
Hey,
but
Yeah.
they got
it's definitely a drilling flow. I mean, to get to going,
yeah.
and I love playing in New York. But
Hey,
to
Matt, let me
shut
say
their
this.
ass up.
They got the ultimate gaslighter. Whoever that is up there on the organ, doom, doom, doom,
Oh,
doom,
Oh
doom.
yeah.
Like that dude,
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
is like a gaslighter because he get the crowd like you know what I mean off the chains. He is very
yeah,
underrated.
yeah,
Whoever that dude
Active.
is,
absolutely,
boy,
yeah.
kudos to him.
I don't even need to go to the game. I just might want to be in the city and feel the energy
Mm.
outside. Because, like you
Oh
said, I
my
mean, they
goodness,
was whooping people's ass after the last game,
come
and we're
on,
gonna
man,
get to that.
come on,
I like. Hey, there's some matchups in this game with Brunson and Halliburton and
man.
OG and
Mm,
Siakam and
mm,
Miles Turner and Cat. And then Neesmith and Nemhart.
mm.
I
Yeah,
fuck with
Yeah,
Nemhart.
yeah,
And then
yes,
hey,
you look on
yes.
the
That's
flip,
one of
you
them
look on
stuff.
the flip side of Hart and McBride
Yeah.
and although you don't want to put Bridges is kind of in that in that category too. So I think there's a lot of cool little matchups within the series. I'm really interested and excited
Mm,
about this series. To your point, KD, I completely agree. This is probably the most balanced series.
hmm.
And remember last year the WWE kind of played this up too with Halliburton
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
mm-hmm,
Brunson
Brunson.
at
mm-hmm.
an event and they stared each other down. Know what the fuck Halliburton was wearing some tight jean shorts and
Oh, he gonna be
some combat boots. But I'm excited about this. I think this is going to
Oh
be a great
shit.
series.
Yes, it is.
I want to go with the Knicks not because of I just think it'll be great for basketball.
yeah.
Mm,
And I
yeah,
think New York needs a little bit of love on the basketball side because I think
yeah.
California has passed them as far as the mecca
And
of
Florida
basketball.
and
And
Texas
Florida too.
and
You
Seattle.
you started shit. I didn't
Yeah,
say all that. I
man, New
just said
York,
Cali.
they falling
Yeah,
off, bro.
Tell him,
You remember
they
how
homeboy.
they
yeah
That's right. Tell him,
it's
homeboy.
been a minute.
you remember them
But
New
Florida too.
York they
I'm gonna tell
was
y'all right now.
popping.
We might in our lifetime we might not be able to say nothing to anybody from New York if these motherfuckers find a
Oh my
way to
goodness,
win it.
I'm trying to tell you,
They
dude, this
gonna
Yeah.
shit gonna
ride
get
this shit
ugly.
for a
It's
minute,
gonna
man.
get
So
ugly. Oh my goodness.
But other news, like I said earlier, I mean, the city is going crazy right now. They jumped a fan
Yes.
that had a Halliburton jersey on. Let's take a look at that.
They hit the motherfucker with a trash bag.
Huh?
Hit the motherfucker.
Hey, they just said they also said this guy that got jumped is Halliburton is flying him out for these games, so he'll probably be have some security on. This
Shit.
is wild. Come on,
Yeah.
New York.
Oh my
Come
goodness.
on,
Come
New
on,
York.
nigga.
He got
Come
a
on,
mob of
man.
people
That's
really
what I'm saying.
that want to hurt him.
They really want to beat this bad. This shit is
That's
crazy, man.
crazy.
Come on, man.
Max, I know they wouldn't catch you slipping like that, Max.
No, I'd have been throwing hands out that motherfucker, connecting, goddamn, hooking off on the motherfucker shit, and running
Hey,
back, hooking off. The motherfucker, yeah,
they
the
also
motherfucker,
said something to Brian Windhorst, and I didn't get to see this, so I want to actually see this video. I just saw I couldn't listen to the commentary, so let's watch this video too. They got on Wendy's ass a little bit.
How do you feel about Boston losing? I don't give a fuck. Knicks is 6, pussy. Suck all that shit now. Suck all that shit now. What do you gotta say?
Hey,
these
hey,
motherfuckers out of control.
Wendy, be safe, bro.
Yeah,
Be
man,
safe out there.
get you some damn
Hey,
security, man.
it's wild in New York, and it's
Got to
Yeah,
gonna
be more
be
careful.
a great
yeah.
conference final on both sides, man. So I think, is it safe to say that we are in the next phase of basketball? Who knows what KD is going to do? If he'll have a chance to kind of get one more sniff at this if he goes to a Houston or something. LeBron
Mm,
ain't going nowhere. They're going to be able to add
mm-mm.
some help for him and Luca. Steph, It has the door shut on Steph, Harden with the Clippers. I mean, all these guys that are obviously first ballot Hall of Famers and some of the greatest players in my generation. There's a lot of young new blood, man. So I'm excited about that.
Definitely.
Moving forward, the future for the Boston Celtics. What does that look like? There was conversation I caught a little bit as I was getting ready this morning about obviously Tatum being gone all next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And is Brown someone that could be in that driver's seat? And a lot of people were riding the train last year. He's the Finals MVP. This is that. I love Jaylen Brown, but he has always been respectfully either 1B or Robin. There's always been the best players in the game plan has been always focused on stopping Tatum. And that's just what it is, whether fans like to say it or not. That's what it's been. So is he ready to step into that 1A role next season? Will this team come back? Porzingis has $30 million expiring. Holiday still has 3 years, $100 million. I don't want to overreact. I'm going to ask the question to ask it. Do you bust a move if something crazy comes across the table for Jaylen Brown, or do you just stay set, let your superstar get healthy, and make a push in 2 years? Obviously, new owners over there with the Celtics, and we talked about this before. We like that they've kept the infrastructure and the training wheels on, so to speak, letting the former group kind of help them do this process. But as Nate said, at the end of the day, they're going to be in the luxury tax, with this roster. Do they want to start that way? What are they going to do? So, our eyes are going to be on the Celtics. But what do you guys think, Max? What do you think this team does? Obviously, not going to have Tatum next year. Coming off a championship last year, a lot of money owed to a lot of players. What's the future look like for Boston?
I feel like they're gonna have to bust a move. Get some trades got to be involved in this shit this summer. Get some guys out of there, man. And I think that's what's gonna happen. Um, love Jaylen Brown. I mean, I think he can do it. I mean, he's a guy can carry a team, and force. I think he's capable. So, um, I mean, Drew Holiday. I mean, you got them. He's making a lot of money, for over three
He's
over
getting older
over,
too. Getting
and
older.
that's what I'm saying. And over the next 3 years, and so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got to think about that, and but I just feel like in Porzingis, I mean, he's just got to get healthy. But I think Boston. I mean, Tatum's not going to be there all next year, but I think Jaylen Brown can carry a team, and he's very capable of doing that. And I don't know about how good they'll be, but I think, Jaylen Brown can handle his thing and carry a team though. Absolutely.
One of the things, like with the collective bargaining agreement and the new television deal, there'll be an influx of money coming in. And so I know that they're over the tax, but there'll be some kind of compensation with this new TV deal coming in. But when you're new ownership and you don't have an opportunity to win a championship, because I don't think they can win one without Tatum, as history has shown us, I think you got to try and, take a page out of Sam Presti's book, go back to Danny Ainge and how he kind of, quarterback, that whole situation and getting assets while guys still have value to be able to, build for the future. And then talent retainment. Al Horford is getting older. Tatum won't be with you next year. You still have some value with Drew this year. So, he's a piece that a championship team could really desire, or even Derek White for that matter. And Porzingis has an expiring contract, so that is valuable as well. And so I think they got to dive on the motherfucking sword this year. Next season, they got to dive on that motherfucker, right? And try and get some draft capital, try and retain like Pritchett, because I think he's a young guy who could be a point guard for the future. And then they got to kind of reassemble and get that talent. But what you want to do is you really want to keep JB and Jason Tatum together, right? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Because it's rare that you can get that kind of talent, you know what I mean, in their primes together. And like I said, those guys are getting older. And so I think they should make some moves. They should, take a step back in order to reload, you know what I mean? Not next season, but the season after next. And that'll give the new ownership group, an opportunity to, kind of find their way, kind of go through some hardships so they can appreciate, the value of winning in the league. Because if you inherit a team and you only win and you're competing for championships, you don't know about the hardships. And there's always a recalibration period. So I would say they should dive on the sword and try and recalibrate.
It's going to be interesting to see First and foremost, my brother Jason Tatum, man, get well.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
This will be a big.
Yeah.
I got a chance to talk to him last week and was just kind of talking about. Obviously, this is physically draining, but the mental is going to be the strongest part. And that's what he said he was having the hardest time with at the moment. It was just like this mental right now is tough. OG. So definitely sending some love out to little bro and man, get back strong, get back healthy.
Right.
Bro, that's some 95s you rocking?
Yes, sir. Better late than never. Couldn't afford them in high school, but I can now.
How much they hit you for?
Couple hundred.
Let me check that out. I'm about to get those.
Whether you're hunting for the latest drops you may have missed or investing in the grails, StockX is where you need to be.
And they don't just do sneakers. We're talking about watches, collectibles, electronics. StockX got it all.
StockX gives you global access and transparent pricing. A marketplace that keeps it 100 every time. That's what StockX is bringing to the game.
Stay fresh with StockX.
Tommy John's have changed the game. Their underwear are the most comfortable I've ever worn. They're silky soft, breathable, and lightweight. If you don't believe me, check the waistband. Ever since Tommy John has been sending me products, it's all I've been wearing. They're the true MVP in the underwear game. What are some of the problems that other underwear brands give you that Tommy John doesn't? These things let my balls breathe. And that's the most important thing. They hold them nice and tight, but they can also breathe. So get you some. Double down with comfort on Tommy John and get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/smoke with the promo code SMOKE. Save 25% at TommyJohn.com/smoke. I'll see you there.
You ever had one of those moments when you want to elevate your night? Maybe it's a dinner with friends or a celebration that calls for something extra. That's where Grand Marnier comes in. You probably heard of it, but have you tried the signature drink? The Grand Margarita. It's the twist of a classic margarita. It has the smooth richness of Grand Marnier's cognac, and combined with orange liqueur, a bit of citrus, and just the right amount of sweetness. With a taste like that, it's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're chilling at the crib or out with friends, a Grand Marg remixes a regular cocktail into something extraordinary. Don't just settle for a good cocktail when you can have something grand. It's about making your next drink one to remember. So when you're making your next margarita, remix it and make it grand with Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style, drink responsibly.
The Nuggets. Joker didn't hold his tongue. After 7 games, was asked could the Nuggets win a championship with this roster. He said we didn't, so obviously we can't. If you could, we would have. And he said he's going to be drinking a lot of beer in the next week and a half. Unbelievable season. Most likely SGA will be the MVP, but it's unfortunate that when we look back, we're going to forget what kind of season Jokic had because he won't be the MVP, but his numbers across the board have been absolutely incredible. From the Olympics to this season to the playoffs, he's been incredible. Jokic is $55 million a season. Murray is $46 million a season. Michael Porter Jr. is owed $38 million next season. He's someone who's been injury plagued and try to tough it out and play through the injuries. But at the end of the day, this man is making over $30 million. He's only giving you 9 points a game in the playoffs. Hats off to my little homie. There's definitely the Missouri tie with the Cronky tie. There's definitely a Cronky Missouri tie. Oh yeah, you were there. Hey, Katie was there with Cronky. Shout out to Aaron Gordon, man, for coming out in Game 7, knowing he couldn't really move and trying to give them something.
Absolutely.
He's a warrior. And he brought up a point too, saying that the NBA needs to start giving more time off in between games. I think after the first round, which I'm not mad at, because like we've all said, I mean, the season is a motherfucker, and then when you get to the playoffs, man, it turns the intensity up a whole another level, man. So he was saying some stuff that I really like. What does this team do? This team let go. I think they underestimated the Bruce Browns and the Jeff Greens and those smaller role players that really helped them secure. KCP helped them secure their first championship in a long time. Can you trade Michael Porter Jr.? Is Murray the guy? I mean, Murray has been up and down. He's making nearly $50 million a year next year. What are they going to do? New coach. Is Adelman going to go from intern to head? Are they going to go find a big name? There's a lot of questions over there. They don't have a GM. I don't know who the GM is going to be. So a lot of questions over there. And with Jokic, you don't have too much time because there's always that talk of pairing him with somebody out here in LA. which will be absolutely insane. So what do you think Denver's offseason is going to look like, KD?
The first thing is that, like, at some point, I think you're going to start seeing some more criticism of Jokic, right? Because at the end of the day, man, statistically and analytically during the regular season, he puts up numbers, right? And he has more MVPs than championships, right? And so there's been several players who have been minimized, for having that kind of dynamic, right? And at the end of the day, you're like judged off of winning. If you're supposed to be the best player at the best time in the league, at some point your resume has to reflect that. So at some point, I think he's going to start getting criticism about not winning championships and just being, a guy who gets statistics. You know what I mean? Now, I know that's tough to digest, but that's a reality that Russell Westbrook had to experience. That's something that
James
Kevin
Harden.
Durant had to. There's a lot of guys who had to experience that kind of criticism. So I think
Luka.
it's fair because of his pedigree. So I think the Nuggets definitely have to make some changes. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is one of those guys who has a lot of trade value because, like, one of his legs are longer than the other. He's kind of injury prone, but he's also showed some toughness. Though his numbers were down, he has played, with the
through it. I like him. I like him, man. I like him a lot.
He's a good third option. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to hate on him. He is a champion and he has brought something to that city, but that's an extreme number. You know what I mean? To be getting 9 points
extreme number.
in the playoffs. So I think they have to make some moves. I think they have to define who their coach will be. I think they have to get, a general manager in there.
Yep.
And then they're going to, at some point, they're going to have to deal with the Jokic issue because he's going to say that, hey, you know what? Maybe I can't win here. Maybe I have to go take, the same path that a lot of superstars. You know what I mean? He'll start thinking about
that's where Giannis is right now. You don't want to get there.
They get to that point. They show that loyalty, and then they get to that point where it's about legacy because we start judging them differently after you have all the individual accolades, and then it's like, okay, where are your championships? How do those things line up?
Let's not forget too, before you go, Vern, Dylan, what was the GM's name in Denver who's in Minnesota now? Connolly, the guy that built that roster, that Denver roster that won a championship, is in Minnesota pulling them strings right now. So it's going to be very interesting offseason for Denver. They are up against the clock from a standpoint of these days. Superstars aren't going to sit by and waste seasons. So absolutely, they got to figure it out. Yeah, so Jokic has two more seasons under contract. With an option for $62 million, the 27-28 season. Outstanding. Wow. I love it. Yeah, he could definitely get more.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, absolutely.
Moving on to the Cavs. 3 straight years with the core not getting past the second round. Can this offensive-minded small guard combination of Mitchell and Garland survive in the playoffs? And when I saw this question, I had them pull the stats of another small guard combination that I really loved, that I think had really good teams, but just kept running into the Warriors when the Warriors were the shit. And that's that Portland backcourt of Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. Their numbers in the playoffs Dame's were 26, 4 and 6, 41% and 37 from the 3-point line. And then CJ was 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 43% from the field and 38 from the 3-point line. In contrast, in 3 seasons in the playoffs with Donovan Mitchell and Garland, Donovan Mitchell 28, 5 and 5 on 45 and 34 from the 3, and Garland 17, 3 and 5 with 43 and 34. Something that was interesting. Who said it? Simmons just threw a crazy idea out there about straight up Mobley for Giannis. Obviously, there would be some more stuff in there, but I think, fellas, correct me if I'm wrong, they need to make some moves in Cleveland. Is Donovan Mitchell going to sit there? And obviously, I think did he sign another deal there?
He did,
yeah. So he re-up. Garland had a lot of potential. Obviously, is hit by the injury bug. Mobley and their other pieces, defensive player of the year. I don't see this team, and I said at the very beginning, I didn't trust Cleveland. What does this team need to do? Max, I'm going to start with you to get over the hump. Do they need to press reset on this team? Oh, yeah. Mobley's new contract, Nate just told me, kicks in next year. So how much? Mobley's making $46 million next year.
They got to reset. Heavens. They got to reset. You got 2 little guards. God damn. You got those 2 little guards, man. You got to reset, man. And that that's not gonna win. That's not a winning pedigree to me with the two small guards, man. That shit don't work, man. So, but you got to break that up first, and then, damn, it's a lot of money being paid to some motherfuckers. That's really that that I think they got to break it up, man. The team up, and I mean. Donovan Mitchell, man, I love his play and what he's about. I mean, they need some help, you know. I mean, he's basically out there playing by himself this in the second round against
Mm,
Indiana. That shit was crazy. I mean, I thought, other guys will step up and give him a hand. You know, those guys in the regular season is easy, but the later
the
you get
playoff lights is different,
and
Max.
the later you get into them playoffs, man, that shit started to
Hmm.
change for you, and a
Yep.
lot of nerves. So but I just think they need to break it up, man, because that small ball guard shit, that shit ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that, OG. Obviously, Donovan and Garland are a smaller backcourt, but like they are productive. What I was more concerned about is that like Evan Mobley and Garland missed
Mm,
games in the playoffs, but then they were
mm,
able to play in some games. So for me, like old school guys, like it was a difference between being hurt and injured,
right. Mm,
right? And even if you could go out and give 20 minutes and make them game plan for you and then let the adrenaline kick in and let the Toradol and the cortisone kick in, you know what I mean? Like the difference of like them losing at the
oh
buzzer,
shit.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they could have made a difference.
Mm,
And if you go up, if you're down, if you're up 2-1 and things like that, like the series could go a little bit differently. And so I sometimes like, I question this younger generation's like true commitment to the game and doing everything that they have to do. Because if you can play, miss one game and then come and play the next two games, well, maybe you
right,
could have given a
right.
little bit more during that time. With Evan Mobley, like he is coming in. He was what defensive player of the year. He has
Hmm.
shown growth and improvement every year. Milwaukee is a place that can't get a lot of free agency, so they have to do deals
Mm,
through trades. And so if Giannis is thinking about leaving, Houston and Cleveland are two locations that have some assets, some young assets that they could potentially plug in there. But I think it's going to be hard to win for the Cavs if you only have Donovan and Garland in that backcourt. You need more size, and I think Giannis could kind of suppress some of those flaws. But at the end of the day, like they got to be healthy, and those guys weren't healthy
absolutely.
enough. They didn't give enough.
Absolutely.
They didn't give enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of Giannis, he said his favorite place to play is in New York, and the city he has the funnest in are the Florida cities.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that means anything.
We could
That's
use
what he
them down here in
said.
Florida.
That's what
Yeah.
he
Yeah, he
said.
can come on down.
But
The
shit.
Warriors. The Warriors. I mean, the sun is setting over there. They've had a great run. Guys are getting older at the end of the day. What can you get for a Kaminga sign and trade? It was always a mystery to me, like what happened with him and Steve Kerr, or what happened off the court, or what happened with him just mentally for him not to be able to consistently get minutes. But when they did give him minutes, the boy played some good basketball.
Yes,
The boy
yes,
played
yes.
some really good basketball. Numbers can be deceiving at times, and sometimes numbers don't add up to wins. We've seen guys in the past have crazy numbers that don't add up to much, but I really think he's young. He's what, 23, 24? How old is Kaminga?
Yeah, he
He's a
young.
baby,
Yeah,
super
yeah,
young. So
yeah.
what can you get at 22? What can you get in a
Wow.
sign and trade for him? Giannis, Steph. We talk about Giannis again. Is there a pairing there in the future? You'd probably have to get rid of Draymond plus Kaminga and
Yes.
a few firsts. Highly unlikely, but you never know. What does Golden State have to do? Curry is due to make 59 million next year. Butler is due to make 54 million next year, and our brother Draymond Green is due to make 25 million next year. So what do the Warriors do with that kind of payroll and the roster they have?
Wow. I think they gotta sign and trade with the young kid Kaminga. First of all, I mean, he got to get to a new environment, another
Yes.
place, because
Yep.
I mean, I heard some weird shit that happened. Steve Kerr didn't like him because he was a guy that liked to be in the clubs or shit like that to that nature. But shit, I wouldn't give a damn what he do if he came out and played like that boy
Right.
plays hard, man. He
As
plays
long as he's
hard,
staying
man.
out of trouble. Yeah, as long
Hey
as he's
man,
staying
that's
out of
it,
trouble.
man. Yeah, just stay out of harm's way, man. And he's plays hard, man. But you can get a lot for him, a sign and trade. You can get something for him. And then with the Draymond deal, I love Draymond to death. That's my guy, man. So I mean, I think it's about time for that marriage to end. With Draymond and the Golden State Warriors.
Interesting.
They need to part their ways with each other. But I think and Steph, Steph's gonna be Steph. I mean, he needs some more help. They need to get him some help. But I just feel like they got to break it up, man, and make some moves and and good luck to the young guy Kuminga, man. I love his style. I love his game. He plays hard, so hopefully he can get somewhere where somebody will play him and love him the way he's supposed to be loved.
Thanks, OG. For me, I feel like you got to bet on the youngsters at this point. I think, man, Draymond has served his purpose in Golden State.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
maximized like his
Mm,
potential.
mm-hmm,
He's a champion. He's going to be forever in all of our hearts. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? As the heart and soul and the spirit of that Warriors dynasty. And so I
mm-hmm.
think like he can go and like imprint somewhere else and give that to a whole different demographic of people. You know what I mean? And youngsters that could benefit from that. And his number is 25 million. I think you got to bet on the young boy. You know what I mean? Like, instead of doing a sign and trade with Kuminga, you will find more minutes for him if Draymond is not on that team. Right. And
Absolutely.
you will change kind of the way that you play. And I think scoring is something that they need. And this guy averaged 14, 15 points in limited minutes. And when he gets the opportunity, he can score the basketball. But with Draymond on that team, it takes a different identity. And so I think like with Steph getting older, with Jimmy getting older, I think you bet on the young guys because you can't just draft talent like that. It just doesn't come up every day in the draft. They developed the talent, they cultivated the talent, and like I think he's right now. If you trade him, he'll be like how Tracy McGrady was when he got traded from the Raptors. He'll go in there and he'll be like on the cusp, if not an all-star. He'll be a very, very talented lead scorer in the NBA type guy. He's that
I'm
talented.
not. Hey, I'm not mad. What
Mhm.
I'll say to that is, I think the bridge has been burned between him and Kerr, because I heard some of what Max said, and I heard some other shit that we don't need to get into. So I don't know if there's light at the
Right,
end of the tunnel. But
right.
to your point, KD, if he is able to get out to a new situation and spread his wings, he's going to be a problem.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
show him
sir.
the
He's a
money.
he's a
Money
he's a
Absolutely.
he's a 20 he's a
Absolutely.
20 20
Yeah.
plus point a game
Yeah.
scorer in this league.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
freakishly athletic.
Oh, Lord.
Um,
Yes.
if he will listen to some people, or just maybe a change of environment to be able to listen to some new voices, I think
Absolutely.
there's definitely his talent is not in question here. I just think it's his
Absolutely.
mentality. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see.
It will.
It will. Do we live in an era now where greats? Draymond was a great for the Warriors. They don't really get to ride off into the sunset with their teams unless
Neither did Clay.
anymore. Clay, perfect example.
Yeah,
Clay, they
absolutely.
had to have Clay bust a move. I think Steph is the one guy that'll most likely retire there. He'll be probably the last of the three amigos, but it'll be interesting to see if Golden State decides to go in another direction. Mike Dunleavy and that ownership over there have a lot of figuring out to do.
Jesus.
God damn, bro. You okay over there?
Man, this is crazy, man. These girls won't stop hitting my phone, bro.
I thought you just said you was dry a couple weeks ago.
Well, man, I've been using these Rose Sparks, man, and I guess the word is out on me, man.
Is it?
Yeah, man.
Because last thing I heard, you got a bad case. That's why you got to shave
Nah,
your
man,
facial hair.
Nah, no more flatlining, baby boy.
You're back.
I'm back, man.
Man, I might need to try these. Like, what's the process with them?
You put one of the lozenges under your tongue, man, and on average it's 15 minutes, man, and you ready to go. And let me tell you, bro, it works, bro.
Looks like you're confident. Everything is going good with you.
Absolutely, bro. And the ladies are super satisfied.
Are they?
Man. Come on, man.
You're
You know
back,
what I'm
huh?
saying? Come
You
on,
ain't been
man.
back. You ain't really been back since like 98, 99.
Oh
though.
man, come on, don't do me like that, man. I'm back. I'm current right now.
Yeah,
baby.
up
it's
there.
all about getting back in the game.
You feeling good?
Absolutely, man. I had the flat tires, man, and now I'm burning rubber.
Yeah. Are you using rubber though?
Good Lord. Well, at my age, man, you're not supposed to, but I'm still doing it, baby boy. Let me tell you, it's part of my budget now.
Well, congratulations, man. I'm glad you're back in the game.
I appreciate it. I really do.
No doubt.
If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks for your first order on a recurring plan. Connect with your provider at ro.co/smoke to find out if prescriptions of Rose Sparks is right for you. That's ro.co/smoke for $15 off your first order.
This episode is brought to you by Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network. I know we stay joking, but let me take a second to put on my serious voice, because this isn't a joking matter. Me personally, I would never joke about a 5G network that has invested billions in building 5G towers across the country.
Me neither.
Not even once.
Me neither.
Feel me?
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store for more information.
The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas. I love going to the movies. I'm hyped about the new Mission Impossible movie. It's one of the few franchises that keeps getting better and better every movie. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, has some of the craziest and most dangerous stunt sequences ever, making it the biggest practical action movie ever made. Tom Cruise is a G. Facts. I'm excited to see the reunion of the team with the incredible global cast. It's the best and biggest mission yet, and the most fun you will have at the theaters this summer. Check out Mission Impossible in theaters May 23rd.
Before we get out of here, fellas, the WNBA season has kicked off. This segment, which is crazy, is brought to you by Rose Sparks, long-lasting and fast-acting ED treatment. Whoever did that is a maniac. But Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the beef is reunited. I didn't get a chance to see the game because I was coaching this weekend, but from what I did see, Angel Reese pushed someone in the back. They didn't call it. She got the offensive rebound. Caitlin Clark gave her a hard take foul. I definitely didn't think it was. I think Angel dramatized it a little bit and flailed, but then she got up, ready for smoke. And now the talk is this, does she hate? I don't give a shit if they like each other or not. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think what has grown this game is the storyline and the rivalry that started back in college. Dare I mention that Caitlin Clark came out with the 20-10-10 triple-double to start the season. Sparks or fire, fellas? Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, is it beef? Is it competitiveness? Does Angel not like her, or does it not even matter because it's still good basketball?
Well, I love the shit. You know what I mean?
Max love the shit.
Yeah,
I
see.
love this shit,
love
Max.
Yeah, see,
God
when I
damn
saw
it.
this
Yes,
shit,
sir.
when I saw this shit, man, I was like, God damn, that's what it need. We need this shit in the
Yes.
WNBA.
Yes.
But the only thing I
Yes.
didn't like about that shit, man, the racism part. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
We were going to touch on that for sure.
And I just don't think that shit should be a part of the girls' game
Mm-mm.
and the men game either. And so the fans got to do better, man. I mean, because I mean, that's the same kind of shit what happened to me. You know, got to watch what the fuck you saying in them
Yeah.
stands, you know,
Yeah.
and then security got to do better too. You know,
Yeah.
when you identify that person, you got to go up to that person, you got to handle that
Yeah.
person, you got to do something about that, you know.
Yeah.
But I just think that Angel Reese really don't like this motherfucker, you know,
And that's
and
fine. And that's
and
fine.
and
Whether
that's
she does or
fine. Yeah,
doesn't, that's fine.
absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's
yeah. It makes it
fine.
get. I love that part about the game. The girls' game need to have some shit like that in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward. I mean, I can't. I think they play like 4 or 5 more times. So I'm looking forward to it, man. So, but it's nothing. I think it's just sparks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
KD.
No, man. I think it's dope, man. Like they have a rivalry that kind of goes back, to their days at Iowa and LSU. And they've always been competing against each other for national championships. They've always been, first team All-Americans. Like they are rivals on the basketball court, right? This time it was a little bit switched, right? Because like Caitlin, I think she got 17% of all flagrant fouls were against her last year in the WNBA.
That's a
So it
crazy stat.
motivated her to go to the weight room. So her physique
Yes.
has changed. Her
Yes.
mentality has changed. She's got a better team this year. And so she wasn't on the receiving end of the hard foul. She gave the hard foul. Right. And so like, you know what I mean? That to me, that said like, okay, she's coming in with a different disposition this year. Like, right. She ready for the shit. She ready for the smoke. So I like to see that. But for every action, there's a reaction. Now, one thing we know about that little Barbie from Baltimore, Maryland, like she got time. Right. And so she reacted. If it was Angel Reese, if it was somebody else, she was going to react like that because that's how Miss Reese conducts herself on the court. She's a junkyard dog. When you talk about the race element and things like that, it does come out in situations like that because if Angel Reese would have made that foul on her, right?
Oh boy.
I mean, it would have been a different, like we wouldn't be talking about, the reaction. We'd have been talking about the infraction. You know what I mean? And so, like, it does play a part in it. That's a place where, society, we have to get better. But for me, as a competitor, as a hooper, I love it because it's guys like you and me, Matt, who loved each other, but if we fouled each other or whatever, and we
Straight
know
up.
or whatever, like, we going to go hug
Yep.
it out afterwards. You know what I mean? So I just
Absolutely.
think that, like, it's
Absolutely.
good for the game. You know what I mean? Those sisters are playing their hearts out. You know what I mean? They're putting up points. KP is putting up points in her new situation and things like that. So I love to see, the females getting that attention for their game.
It's great for the game, again, outside of the racism. And Max, you've told your stories, and I've had incidents in Utah where I've been called nigger, in Boston. So there's definitely, and I think these leagues need to do. Yeah, you've been there. A lot of guys have been there. I think they need to start doing like whether it be undercover cops or undercover security, just dressed in civilian clothes, sitting in the
Yes.
stands in areas. And if you catch these clown ass motherfuckers saying some
Thank you.
hateful, racist shit, get them. And then it's a lifetime ban for them and everybody in their family, and put their name and face on TV
Damn
and
right.
just make an example out of people.
Yes,
Because for us to
absolutely.
ask people, hate will always be in this world, and it's very unfortunate. But for us to ask the fans to do better, it's not going to happen. If you have hate in your heart at some point with a couple of drinks in
It's
you,
gonna come
or
out. It's
not
gonna come
drinks,
out.
that shit is going
It's
to
gonna
come out
come
regardless.
out.
So we
Yeah,
just
it's
need to
gonna come
have
out.
plain clothes. I'm not asking for other fans to snitch. I'm not on that. But I'm saying these leagues can pit people in the crowd, I think in the lower bowl where these athletes are, where we're at, and catch these motherfuckers that are on this hateful shit, because that's the thing that disgusts me. The fake, whether I definitely don't think it was a flagrant foul, but the hard foul and the interaction and the reaction, I don't care about that. I think that's great for the game. This shit has been happening. Women are more catty and been getting in smoke more than men do. So this shit has always happened.
Yeah.
It just happens to be these two young,
Right.
these two young stars in the league, man. So I'm really, again, excited for this season. I'm really gonna make an concerted effort not to just watch the season. I'm gonna get out and show my
Absolutely.
face and get to some games. On the flip side, I'll most likely be going to Sparks games, and our girl Kelsey Plum, welcome
Yes.
to LA. She came out and dropped a 37 ball in the season opener versus the new expansion teams, the Valkyrie. Out of they're playing in Oakland, right? Or
San Francisco.
they're playing in San Francisco or Oakland?
Playing San Francisco, practicing in Oakland.
Okay, so yeah, the new Bay Area team, the Valkyries. Shout out our girl Natalie. We went to UCLA with her, the head coach over there of the Valkyries. But Kelsey Plum, let's not forget, she was a bucket in college, a 25, 5-5 girl at Washington. I think she averaged 15 and 6. She's going to get a chance to score this year. The Sparks aren't, how do we say it? Obviously, they got Cameron Brinks back, but I still think are a few years away. And I think what needs to happen, the same way things happen in the NBA, is obviously our girl Juju is recovering from what she needs to recover from. But I think in 2 years, something needs to happen where the Sparks land,
Get the magical
Juju,
ball.
man, and get the loaded. They need to get the loaded dice, KD. They need the loaded dice, the loaded dice, and get it.
That'll
Obviously,
be big. That'll be
Burrell
big.
went out with a big injury. She'll be gone 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to be some time for this Sparks team, but I definitely think the future with the core pieces they have and adding someone like a Juju down the line can definitely bring Sparks
Absolutely.
basketball
no.
where it needs to be.
Oh, yes.
AAU, fellas, I was out in Memphis, Tennessee this weekend and ran into a bunch of our brothers from Penny to Akeem to who else? Bonzi Wells, Chris Paul, Raymond Felton. Who else? A lot of dads were out there, man. It was great to see everyone. We took some on the chin this weekend, man. We lost to Jermaine O'Neal, so we lost to Marcus Spears. Shout out my homeboy Marcus Spears over there at ESPN. His son is, I think, top 3 in the 2027 class. They beat us at the buzzer on a bullshit ass call. One of their kids, a white boy, he was nice, super athletic, but this kid Euro stepped from the 3-point line without a dribble, travel like a motherfucker, and they called a foul at the buzzer. He hit 1 free throw, and they beat us.
Game over.
But we missed 15 free throws, Max. We can't miss 15 free throws.
Yeah.
That was definitely on us. But fuck them refs. But we were able to, 2-2. We also lost to JL3, John Lucas's program. Another game we didn't shoot well, but we'll definitely be ready. Next stop is Augusta, right before Pete's Jam. But Fellas, what do you guys remember best about your AAU journeys? Obviously, KD, we ran into each other in AAU. Max, I don't even know if they had AAU with your old ass, but what was your what do you guys remember real quick most about your AAU time?
Oh man, mine. I was just killing every motherfucking body they put in front of me. That's what that's what the fuck I remember. I was
That's
killing
it.
every goddamn thing they put in front of me.
It
That's
was
all.
different
And
back
I,
then, Max, because again,
yeah,
and not to cut you off, like I don't like it, but I understand it. All the kids are friends, and I don't like that shit because
yeah,
when we
yeah,
were
yeah,
playing, we didn't know
yeah.
who was who until we got to square up against them. And I
Absolutely
already
right.
told the story where we didn't know who the hell Tracy McGrady was, and KD, you
Amen.
was on that team. Like we had no idea who this Florida Flash team was until they beat us by
Oh,
30. Like
Cannons.
that shit was ooh wee.
Yeah, so
KD,
okay.
what do you remember most about
Man,
AU?
you know what? I think what I remember most is that, like, one, the first time I got on the scene and I went to ABCD camp is that I realized that, like, boy, I got to step my shit up.
Yes,
Boy, these
sir.
hooping out here, they bigger, they
Yeah,
stronger, they
yeah,
faster. Like,
yeah.
yo, I got to lock in if I want to get to another level. The second thing I learned how to do is like compete, right? And like, bring that dog from Florida to that
Yes,
situation.
got
And
to.
man, the gear that we got, the ability to travel, we met some transformational people like Sonny Vaccaro, Brett Barrett.
Yep.
Like there were so many
Mm-hmm.
different people who, imparted good things into our lives that it was a blessing. But the friendships and the relationships and the late nights talking shit and the late nights playing
Yeah.
1-on-1 and you know what I
There
mean?
you
Like
go.
experiencing things for the first time. Like just getting that human experience outside of basketball was something that I like that really sticks with me to this day. And a lot of those guys, man, we still talk to this day.
Yeah, I
That's
love
what's
that,
up.
and I
Yeah.
almost get to relive it. Obviously, being a coach and
Mm,
Yeah.
seeing these young boys now and allowing them to have some fun and doing shit with them and letting them know, man,
absolutely.
enjoy this time. I've teamed up with our partner DraftKings to make picks all throughout the NBA playoffs. The conference finals are finally here, kicking off Tuesday night. Wolves at Oklahoma City, and Wednesday, Pacers at the Knicks. I'm going to start with the first game on Tuesday, Wolves versus Oklahoma City Thunder, and I feel Julius Randle will have more points than DK Pick 6 has him listed at. And for the Wednesday game, Pacers versus the Knicks, I feel like Pascal Siakam will have less points than the DraftKings Pick 6 has him listed at. Anyway, fellas, that's a wrap for Unplugged, man. We appreciate you guys stopping by this week. You guys make sure you have a good week. Tap in.
Oh yeah.
Big week for
Gotcha.
basketball, man. Make sure you guys tune
Yep.
in starting Tuesday
Absolutely.
night. Western Conference Finals start. You can catch us on all the Smoke Productions YouTube and the DraftKings Network. We'll see you guys next week.